people ask to watch these later because they can't catch it live. So thank you guys so much for joining. One day I'll get the lighting right here, and I do have a ring light, but I just cannot find where I put it. But anyway, thank you for joining us tonight for our call on hormones and essential oils. And this is, yeah, a really, Charlotte, I really love teaching this class. And now it's awesome that I can speak from personal experience as well, because essential oils have really helped me so much with period pain, being much more regular, and just so many things which we're going to cover. So it's quite nice though to be able to speak from a place where I've noticed such a difference in using so many of the oils that we're going to touch on. Okie dokes. So let me just get rid of some of these. Okay. Here we go. Can you all see my screen? Sure you can. So I don't know why this thing is giving me a hard time. It's just a bit slow. Give me a second. I'm so sorry. I think I might have lost you guys for a second there. My internet just went out. I needed to switch over. My bad. Okay, can you all see my screen? Heavens, I don't know why this is not letting me present. Really funny that I'm having such technical issues. Okay, are we good? Yes, can you see this? You can thumbs up me. Anyone, someone. Feel free to share your faces on here, by the way. We're all in this together. Okay, I'm going to jump in and assume that you can see this because I don't see any of your faces. Great, I see thumbs up. Thank you guys. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so very quickly, who I am, some of you are really new. So my name is Jayde Elmaleh, and I'm here because I am super passionate about empowering people with the knowledge of how to embark on a wellness journey, caring for their families using natural plant-based products. So passionate because that's exactly how they worked for me and how they helped. So for tonight, what we've learned is that oils balance the body. And when we receive the support that the body needs, equilibrium can be maintained. And this is increasingly important in today's lifestyle as more stress is placed on the body physically and emotionally. So since hormones control so much of our body's responses, we understand why it's extremely important to learn how we can nurture our body systems responsible for hormone production safely and naturally. And we are really passionate about sharing this insight with you all. So I am going to cover a little bit about what essential oils are very briefly, and then why Young Living is so different and it's so important to use therapeutic grade essential oils, especially when we are, well, for all things that we want to see an actual difference with, but especially when it comes to things like hormones or hoping that they're going to help improve something, to have, to actually see a result. We will cover what hormones are. I know that might sound silly, but really some people don't really understand what hormones actually are and how they work, what controls hormones, some symptoms of hormonal imbalance, and then essential oils that can support the endocrine system. And then I'll cover some specific applications and recipes. So first and foremost, what are essential oils? So they are the lifeblood of a plant. They are there to protect and strengthen the plant. Each one is unique, volatile, it's a fluid, and they are adaptogenic. Every single essential oil is antiviral, antifungal, antiseptic, and antibacterial. It's a lot, but those are the good antis. And they are extracted from the roots, the leaves, the barks, or the seeds. It just depends. So that's where you do a lot of research and you find where you are getting the most essential oil extracted from that plant. Young Living, of course, uses low heat, steam distillation, or resin tapping, again, dependent on what the plant is and where and how much we need to extract, etc. So this is how and why they work so well, because they are so tiny in size. So each drop, just one drop, has 40 million trillion molecules in it. So they are extremely concentrated. They're 70 times stronger than herbs. So why Young Living? Well, Young Living does so many things, and having just come back from the incredible Dalmatia farm, which is in Croatia, distilling juniper, sage, helichrysum, being there on the field and learning on the farm, learning from the farmers who have studied and understood from Gary Young, who's our founder, exactly what it means to go beyond organic with everything from cultivation, doing our seed to seal quality commitment. I can assure you that no other company goes to the extent and the great lengths that Young Living does to get the essential oils that we have in our hands. So we have what we call beyond organic cultivation. We have had native farming practices with over 25 years of experience, and a company that really believes in positive energy, because energy is everything and everything is energy. And so we want to make sure that those plants are receiving only the highest frequencies from the farmers and anybody that is out there working with the plants, because it really has been proven that it makes an absolute difference to how they grow and how they thrive. So the harvesting and distillation practices, they use the correct time, they use slow, low heat, first time distillation only, which means that they are 100% pure. So in every single essential oil bottle, what you are getting is 100% essential oil. Every other essential oil that you are buying from any store, hopefully you're not buying it from the store, but there is a lot of synthetics in them, or they have about 2 to 5% of actual essential oil, and the rest of it is carrier oil or something else to dilute it out. So we have what we call our seed to seal promise, which means that from the time seeds are chosen, which are non-GMO seeds, till the time that a bottle is sealed, we have controlled every single part of that process. So from the time that those seeds were put in the ground, to cultivating them, to harvesting them, to testing, every single thing we have watched very, very carefully until the bottle has been sealed. So we don't outsource at all. The only people we bring in are testers, because we would be very biased to say, oh, our stuff is amazing and brilliant. We actually do bring in testers to confirm that what we are saying is peppermint essential oil is in fact 100% peppermint essential oil. So we are the only company who owns our own farms, and we do have an open door policy. So you can visit any farm, which is really awesome. And we do have extensive in-house testing as well as external testing. So I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, but honestly, for the purpose of this class, and I do have some stuff to cover about hormones, but I will just leave the slide here for you guys to kind of look at and glance. Again, this is part of what comprises the difference in Young Living, is that we call it the 3 S's, our sourcing, our science, and our standards. All of them are the absolute best. We go to really the ends of the earth, quite literally, to make sure that you are getting the absolute best of the best with all of these, covering all of our bases here. Okay, so how quickly do essential oils work? Well, within 22 seconds, the molecules reach the brain. Within 2 minutes, they'll be found in the bloodstream. Within 20 minutes, they'll affect every single cell in the body. And how is that possible? It's because of how tiny the size is. Remember how I told you that they had 14 million trillion molecules in every single drop? So, and because we are humans, we have receptors, and our receptors are able to pick that up and to utilize those tiny molecules. And so it does cross the blood-brain barrier, whereas most drugs and medicine and chemicals cannot. So that's what makes essential oils the perfect natural medicine. So we know that there are 3 methods of use which really help us realign emotionally, physically, and spiritually. We use them aromatically, which is using a diffuser. Very important to use the right, good quality diffuser. So all of ours have a cool mist. It has an ionic plate in them, and you never want to put heat with essential oils. And anytime you see a candle or a tea light with, you know, essential oils and salts and whatnot, that's actually breaking down the property of an essential oil. So you don't want to be doing that. You're losing the therapeutic benefit of the essential oil. The other way is you can make what we call a scent tent or an aromadome. You drop a drop of, let's say, lavender oil in the palm of your hands, rub together, and just cover your nose and mouth and take a nice deep breath in. We also use essential oils topically. So we would do this by making a roller. So a roller bottle is like a 10 milliliter roller bottle, like in this picture. And you would add carrier oil to this. We kind of refer to this as like having a pocket pharmacy. So for example, in my purse right now, I have like a roller like that for pain. I have one for concentration or being effective. I have one for boo-boos, cuts, scrapes for my kids and for me. I've used it many times. And I have one, I'm trying to think of all the ones that I have in there. I have one for sore tummies, and I have one as my perfume. So that's what I have right now in my purse. And then finally, we can use these oils internally. Not all of them are safe for internal use. So you can put it in food and water or in capsules. And South Africa is still kind of catching up to that for us to be able to fully state that we are allowed to safely have them internally. But I can assure you guys that what is in these essential oil bottles, it's the same essential oil that's coming from the United States, that's going to the UK. They're all bottled in the same place. It's the same thing. And so I have been taking them safely internally for 5 years. Again, more than 5 years. Again, it is not about having them internally. It's about which ones are safe for internal use. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but eventually when you learn that, and if you do want to know, I can help you because there are some helpful graphics on which ones are safe for internal use. Okay, so moving on to hormones. So what are hormones? So they are chemical substances that act like messenger molecules in the body. So after being made in one part of the body, they travel to other parts of the body where they help control how cells and organs do their work. So you can tell they're very important, they're vital, and super, super important that we are looking after them and also not eating certain foods that are creating problems for us. But anyhow, what controls our hormones? Our endocrine system, which is made up of glands that produce hormones and release them into the blood. So what does the endocrine system affect? It affects a large number of the body's functions like temperature, metabolism, sexual function, reproduction, moods, and growth and development. So vitally important. And then that's a little overview of what hormones are. Another really nice slide that shows you how many things hormones impact. So I won't go through all of them, but some of the main ones that I think we know about and that come up often are going to be things like our moods, maybe craving carbohydrates, hair loss, especially postpartum hair loss. And then as we get older as well, because we start getting a drastic reduction in something like progesterone, we start losing more hair. So there's ways to work kind of against this or to support that so that we don't have the negative side effects to a lot of this. Things like fatigue, anxiety, a lot of it has to do with our hormones. So it's really important to try and heal our hormone like our endocrine system, basically. All right, so hormone support in South Africa. These are the current essential oils that we have, and I'm going to cover them and a little bit about how they can help. So the singles, we have essential oil singles. What a single means is it is from one plant, and that's all that is in that bottle. So something like geranium, it comes from a geranium plant and flower, and that is what the essential oil is comprised of. Something like dragon thyme, there is no such plant called a dragon thyme, so that is now a blend. It means that there are several different essential oils within that, and Young Living has very, very, very carefully figured out the perfect ratio of what they're putting in there to achieve a certain result for us, okay? So the two that are brilliant with the essential oil blends that we're going to discuss are Endoflex and Dragon Thyme. And then the other one that I'm going to talk in great detail about is called Progessence Plus. South Africa, we call it Progessence Phyto Plus, same thing. Okay, so Clary Sage, this one is the first one I'm going to start with, our single oil Clary Sage. So it has a rich herbaceous aroma, it's relaxing, soothing, and balancing. It creates a stable and calm atmosphere that supports feelings of positivity. So it's really helpful during PMS. I even wrote an Instagram post about this ages ago where I said, Clary Sage, you beauty, you help us with human rage. So that's kind of how I remember Clary Sage, is like it's the anti-rage. So when you feel those moments and times where you like feel out of control and you're getting really angry easily, Clary Sage is really going to help you. So it helps reduce premenopause symptoms like hot flashes. It also addresses hair loss caused by hormone imbalance. So some ways that you can use it: you can diffuse it while meditating or when engaged in creative work. You can rub 2 to 3 diluted drops on the abdomen for a soothing massage. You can add 1 to 2 drops to Epsom salts before pouring into your bath water for a peaceful and calming bath. By the way, we never ever put essential oils directly into the bath. It needs an astringent. So in this case, it needs those Epsom salts to be able to absorb that essential oil, and then we can put it in the bath so that you're getting that benefit of it. If you don't do that, oil and water are immiscible, right? So that's just a scientific fact. They just have different weights. So oil is going to want to sit at the surface of the water, and that's not good for essential oil purposes because our skin is quite sensitive, and you might be using an essential oil that's very potent and very irritating to the skin. So if you just pop essential oil drops into a bathtub, for example, then it's going to sit on the skin and aggravate it. So that's why the Epsom salts help. And not only that, you're actually getting a double benefit because that's magnesium, right? And we all know almost every single human is somewhat magnesium deficient. So it's a really nice way to actually double absorb the essential oils and get the therapeutic benefits of those, as well as the magnesium. So you can apply topically by adding a few drops to your favorite unscented lotion as well. And you can add it to your shampoo for a stimulating experience, and or put a few drops in the diffuser. I think I kind of said that when meditating or practicing yoga. Okay, the next one is Lang Lang. Man, I have a testimonial about this one. So Lang Lang for me, and I'll tell you another little fun fact about Lang Lang. It's actually grown in Ecuador, and they found that when females pick and go out and harvest, they actually get a higher frequency in the essential oil. So yes, every single essential oil also has a frequency that is essentially a vibration. And the ones that vibrate higher are because they're exposed to certain environmental factors, or they just within themselves are just a plant that is actually just a higher vibrating plant, like rose, for example. It's one of the highest frequency essential oils. And then we have something like the Northern Lights black spruce, where it's black spruce, but it's actually grown right under the Northern Lights. So it's getting constant exposure to that energy from the Northern Lights. So that frequency of that essential oil is incredibly high. So the interesting and fun fact about Lang Lang is they just discovered randomly that when females pick this plant and they go out and they harvest it, the frequency goes up. So not at all to be sexist, but they just said, well, we get more out of this essential oil. Clearly, it has something to do with feminine energy because the frequency goes up when it's just females who are harvesting this flower. So we're going to have females working on the farms. So there are still males and they do help, but they actually have the females go to collect and harvest so that we can get the highest frequency. And the males aren't offended because they're still working and doing other things to help. But that's just like a fun, interesting fact. The other thing that I can share with you guys as a personal testimony, I didn't know that Lang Lang is like a libido light switch, if you will. So it really can create an atmosphere. I mean, I'm going to be very candid here and just tell you that it really can create feelings of being horny. And I didn't know that at all. And I kid you not, I had received it actually as a gift with Young Living. It was one of the promo oils one month. So I didn't know much about it. And I thought, I'm going to put it in the diffuser. I think it was like my 7th month of using Young Living essential oils. And I put it in the diffuser, and I'm not joking that my husband walked by and he was going out gardening, and I thought, wow, I really feel very attracted to him right now. I really feel like I could go and jump on him. And I later learned that this is the essential oil that absolutely creates those sorts of feelings. So it was amazing to me that I really didn't know that, but I noticed how very much I felt that way. That was kind of out of the blue. It wasn't like a typical thing, and was also quite soonish after having a child. So I definitely wasn't really I wasn't in the mood much in those days. So yeah, I can attest to that one. Anyway, it has a rich, sweet floral scent. It's calming, relaxing. It has a soothing aroma. It sets a romantic mood, influencing sexual energies. I probably should have read that line first before I shared my story, because that says it a lot nicer than what I just explained to you guys, but there you go. It may enhance the appearance of healthy skin through increasing the moisture. So it's often in a lot of our products actually for the face. It supports the appearance of healthy, shiny hair. What's really nice about hair is that it's a natural diffuser. So it's really great to take a drop of essential oil, and it doesn't make hair greasy when you put 1 drop at the root, like by your roots. I like to put frankincense though by my roots, just for calming and grounding. But on the bottom part, like your ponytail, Lang Lang is lovely as kind of a fragrance, but also to do all these things to really help. You're going to be breathing it in, and we're getting the benefits of essential oils even from, remember I told you aromatic use is one of the uses. So it also gives you healthy, shiny hair. And at the same time, it can address the hair loss caused by hormonal imbalance. So it may also help harmonize male-female energies, and is really helpful when you find that you are just crying. Sometimes us females tend to have inexplicable crying. So it really can be helpful for that. It's found in an abundance of Young Living skin and hair products like I was sharing. And some of those are Awaken, which is another essential oil blend, Believe, which we have in South Africa, Clarity, Dragon Time, we have in South Africa, and Forgiveness, we also have. So applications, you can create a spa-like experience in your shower by adding Lang Lang to your favorite skin and hair products. You can massage it into your scalp to increase the appearance of hair. You can add 2 drops to coconut oil for a deep conditioning hair treatment. You could make a linen spray. You kind of get where I'm going with that one. By combining drops of Lang Lang with water and witch hazel in a glass spray bottle. I do recommend for those of you whose partners or husbands, I find a lot of men and some women too, find this smell quite overpowering in terms of its floralness. Anytime something is too floral, always add a citrus. Citrus will cut that floral note. So Lang Lang and orange are very, very nice together. You can apply it over your heart or wrists, rub it into your palms, cup your hands over your nose, and inhale deeply to inspire feelings of serenity and joy. Okay, the next one is bergamot. So this one has kind of a citrus aroma. This is a fantastic oil. I'll just throw it out there for people who are also grieving. So anyone who has suffered a loss, bergamot is a really, really beautiful oil to help with that. So this one will also help with your morning routine and liven up your household chores if you want to diffuse it. It's got a very uplifting aroma. It's sweet and relaxing too. So it may help improve mood through reducing feelings of stress, tension, anxiety, and sadness. It has skin cleansing properties and an elegant scent, which makes it a popular addition as well to luxury shampoos, soaps, and cleansers. And it blends well when it's diffused with geranium, ylang ylang, lemongrass, or grapefruit. So again, because it's citrus, it's going to be wonderful to add to those floral essential oils. So some applications are add 1 to 2 drops to a gel capsule, and you can actually take this one as a dietary supplement. So this is safe for internal use. During grilling, you can brush seafood with olive oil infused with a few drops of essential oil. You can add it to baked goods by adding like a citrus zest. 1 to 2 drops of this one also is a natural sweetener. If you want to drizzle it over muffins or tarts, you can use 2 teaspoons of your favorite skin carrier oil and add no more than 3 drops before putting it on your face and your neck. And then you can also put 1 drop neat, which means no carrier oil, to your forehead and temples. And again, also really helpful with balancing out hormones. So geranium, this one was used by Egyptians to promote beautiful, radiant looking skin when applied topically. It's used in high-end perfumes and skincare. So for those of us who have been essential oilers for a while, we know now that perfume is very toxic. And sadly, what perfume is it's really just a code word for, I'm going to throw in any toxins I want, and I can label it under one big umbrella called perfume. Because years and years and years ago, what people did is they said, oh, but I've created this smell or this aroma, and I don't want anyone to copy my recipe. So if I call it perfume, I don't need to share what exactly is listed under those ingredients. Well, that of course got abused. And now what happens is you have companies throwing in every and any single toxin in there because of synthetic smells. And why would they use synthetic smells? Because it is much more expensive to use pure grade essential oils when making a perfume. But that is really silly to me because we can make our own, which I do. So that's what I do as a perfume, and I change it up, which is so nice. So I play around and I've recreated my own scents. But what we find is that synthetic perfumes, which are using artificial scents, not only are they extremely disruptive to the endocrine system, like probably the most, and they are very carcinogenic, but they also, the reason, like an interesting thing that they found is the more you distill an essential oil, the sweeter it actually gets. You get rid of those heavy grounding notes. So because human beings are attracted to lighter, sweeter smells, what a lot of companies do is they just distill and distill and distill the essential oil, and then every time they're just adding in more and more water into that process, so it ends up being like a watered down essential oil, and that's actually what they are bottling and selling. And when you open that bottle and you smell, it smells very, very sweet, but that is attractive to most people. Sadly, it's not going to have any therapeutic benefit. So there is the difference too with Young Living, is you're using much less, but it's because we only do a one-time distillation process. So the very first time that those essential oils are extracted and that aroma, that like aroma bubble actually bursts, that is what we capture and then bottle and put into a bottle to use. So you will find the biggest difference with us and any other brand, you use far, far, far less of our essential oils because they are so potent. So anyway, because geranium oil has versatile benefits, you can also diffuse it to invite a peaceful spiritual feeling in your living room or meditative space. It combines very well with clary sage for hormonal support. I really do love the two of those together. So that's nice to also make a roller to help calm during the times where you feel kind of crazy. You would just roll it on your inner arms. So you can add it to lotion or body wash. I know I don't want to go over time too much, so I will share these slides for you guys and I'll let you read through these applications yourself. Okay, Endoflex. This one I do want to highlight and talk about quite a bit. For people who suffer with hormonal migraines or migraines, everyone kind of pronounces it differently, this essential oil is an absolute lifesaver. So I cannot recommend enough for you getting Endoflex to try it. I have read tons and tons and tons of testimonials about how migraines went away from using this essential oil. So it uses a base of sesame seed oil, And then we have a blend of essential oils within EndoFlex, which include, like, namely spearmint, sage, geranium, myrtle, nutmeg, and German chamomile. And these hormone balancing oils flex and strengthen the endocrine system. So for anyone who has thyroid issues, whether it's overactive or underactive, this essential oil is coming in to save the day for you. So it really, really supports the pineal and pituitary glands, the parathyroid, the thymus, and adrenal glands. So your cortisol producers. Those of us who are very stressed, I haven't met many people who aren't very stressed these days. So I feel like seriously, every person should have EndoFlex in their home at this point. It does give you energy. Something that I personally noticed is it is much better for me to use this in the day. And something else that I noticed is you can actually roll it across your throat here on your thyroid. Just watch if it's summer where you are, or if it's just lots of sunlight. It is a bit photosensitive, I find. So I don't go in direct sunlight after using this. But what I prefer, my personal preference of how to use it, is actually on my lower back, and I aim for the top of my kidneys. So it's like midway to lower back, and I just go from left to right, and that's it. So I'm essentially putting it on my adrenal glands. So it really will help alleviate hot flashes, and it does stimulate weight loss as well by improving metabolic function. So it will also create a calming and balancing smell. You can diffuse EndoFlex as well. So there are so many ways to use EndoFlex, but I did share my favorite ways. And again, I will share these slides with you guys so you can go on and read some more. Okay, dragon time is, we hope it's obvious, but this is actually for the time of the month when you feel like a dragon. So this is obviously for PMS, for premenstrual time. So just before you get your period, you would actually technically stop with the Progestins Plus, which we'll talk about in a second, and you would switch to using dragon time. So I like to use this about 5 days before a period. And by the way, just a side note, I've downloaded a free period tracker app. So this is brilliant. This one's called Period Tracker. That's it. It looks like that. I'll show later if you can't see it. But it gives you such a good sense of when you should be using it. It helps for you to know for yourself when to switch your oil usage as well. So I find that a week before getting my period, which I know when I'm getting it anyway, I get very, very sensitive breasts, and I get moody. I feel like I start craving chocolate. Those are my 3 telltale signs. And then I will use Dragon Time. It's also incredible for cramps. So for the first few days of having a period, you can just roll it, like in the picture, directly on your abdomen. So there, this person's made a roller, and you can put like 15 to 20 drops even into a 10 ml roller and add some carrier oil, and then you have a roller bottle. Or you get the Aroma Glide fitment, like I have on these two, which I find so helpful and useful. Okay, so this is really brilliant to alleviate that premenstrual and menstrual cramps. That's what I said. I'm just checking that I covered everything here. It also prevents horrendous breakouts and cravings, like that whole feed me chocolate stage. So you can dilute it. You can apply 5 drops of Dragon Time neat on your lower belly and 1 drop on your ankles. And you can also diffuse it. That all of those are helpful, okay, for that moody time of the month. Then we have Progestins Plus. Again, I feel like this one, I want to sing its praises. To me, these two, I cannot be without. I mean, the truth is I love all 3 of these and the others, but my favorites are Progestins Plus, EndoFlex, and Dragon Time. I feel like everybody needs these. I know they're not always the cheapest of all the oils, but they last so long. Honestly, I can't even remember when I personally purchased this Progestins and EndoFlex. I think I got mine last maybe 6 months ago. I've had these same ones and I'm using them daily. So you don't need to use a lot. Okay, so this is formulated for women. It's designed to promote well-being and feelings for relaxation, harmony, and balance. It uses some of our most loved essential oils, including frankincense, bergamot, and peppermint. It is a plant-based serum. It includes naturally derived ingredients that help the product absorb easily into the skin, sorry. So it normalizes progesterone levels. That is so important. And so for anyone trying to fall pregnant, this is the essential oil that you need. So even if you're not trying to fall pregnant and you actually don't want any more children like me right now, it is still so helpful for balancing out your periods, the duration of periods that you get, and all the symptoms that you will have. So this, I don't know, I wish I could say to you, if I could tell you guys, whatever you take from this call, it's you need progestins. As we age, we start, our progesterone production decreases as we get older. And so this comes in and really rebalances that for you. It is definitely not synthetic. Sadly, most women, when they're going through perimenopause and menopause, go to their gynecologist and they say, oh, I'm going to prescribe you a hormone replacement. It's all synthetic. There's tons of other side effects. I don't know anyone who's ever had side effects from these essential oils other than only amazing stories to share, including I fell pregnant and I've been struggling for months, and I've had terrible hormone migraines and I don't get them anymore. So I've only ever heard that. And by the way, if you're writing anything or have questions, just put it in the chat. I'm going to come to it at the end. So this essential oil definitely helps with heavy periods, with hormonal migraines as well. And the other thing that I wanted to share about this is I do say here that it's important to use organic and non-toxic feminine hygiene products while using this serum. That's really important for all things, but yes, it's especially while you're using this. But for me, I switched anyway. I actually use like a menstrual cup, and that's been life-changing. It was a commitment, and it took about 3 periods for me to actually feel okay and comfortable and not have random little leaks. But it was worth going through that. It has been a game changer, and I really feel good about not wasting and also not putting anything inside me that I could potentially have toxic shock syndrome from. So yeah, it really has made a difference. So make sure that you're drinking enough and you're getting good fats to also keep bowels moving as well. You would use this essential oil daily in the morning and night. On the inner forearms, you do like 1 swipe each. And you can start out with just 1 swipe, and then after a few months increase to 2 arm swipes. Also, some people have reported that they feel sensitive on the skin when they keep using it in the same place. If that happens, no problem, just do alternating days. So one day inner forearms, one day around your ankles. Next day, you can even do lower belly. So for those people, I encourage them to just remember Monday, Wednesday, Friday is my forearm day. On the other days, I just do it around my ankles, and then you won't obsess over it and you'll do it all right. Okay. It's a big one. Trying to become pregnant, Ningsha and Progestins Plus Serum are the most important. Ningsha was spelled incorrectly here. Sorry about that, but it's Ningxia. So you would put these in the refrigerator, our sachets. We do have the bottles now as well. So that's really awesome if you wanted to just save some money and buy the bottles and then make shot glasses of them. Just 1 shot glass is all you need. Otherwise, have a whole sachet every morning, and you can every afternoon, especially if you're trying to fall pregnant. It is feeding your body with the nutrition that it needs. So it's made of nutrient-rich fruits and plants, plus antioxidants that are crucial for reproductive health. It cleans out our system so we can focus on growing that sweet life within us. And then you have the Progestins Plus Serum, which is going to be your progesterone supplement, balancing mood and supporting hormonal and reproductive health. So here you would apply 2 to 4 drops of Progestins Plus serum onto your forearms each morning. Okay, so you can put either the drops, but I prefer the Aroma Glide Fitment, and I just then swipe it. So that is that. So here's a quick testimony, and I'm nearly at the end of this, and then I'll jump off and answer any questions that you guys have. So this person said, ladies, I wanted to share my experience using these 2 gems. I started out by using 1 drop of Endoflex a day and 2 drops of Progestins Plus morning and night to help balance hormones. I was finding I was still having crippling episodes a couple of times a month where I'd be bedridden for the whole weekend with a migraine type headache, nausea, body aches, and extreme exhaustion. I actually thought I was just run down and susceptible to viruses. I decided to bump up my use to 2 drops of Endoflex, 1 morning, 1 night, night, and 4 drops of Progestins Plus, 2 drops twice a day, about 5 months ago. This regimen, sorry, I don't know why I'm like losing my words here, has worked beautifully, and I'm no longer having these debilitating hormonal symptoms. I highly recommend adding these 2 products to your daily routine to help balance hormones. So then I just wanted to share that I do have a Facebook group called There's an Oil for That. It's a free essential oil class, basically. It does focus on the essential oils in the premium starter bundle, but those are the 10 most versatile and popular ones. So feel free to jump on that one if you want, and you do have a chance at a little giveaway as well once you complete it. So there's the little link for that class. Feel free to just WhatsApp me if you want that link. I'll send it to you. Then we also have our Facebook group, which is called Hello Essential South Africa. And we also have our bigger one called Hello Essentials, where there is over 35,000 active people on there. Don't let that overwhelm you, but just if you did have a question, there's tons of people with lots of knowledge and experience who can answer. And there's also lots of files. So you can even search for something, for example, psoriasis, and get tons and tons and tons of recipes and testimonies of what's worked for other people. Then we have WhatsApp groups. So I hope you're in one. If you're not, feel free to reach out to me. I'll share my phone number on here in a second. And finally, we have our Instagram account, if you don't know, but it's at hello.essentials.south.africa. And you can follow that for ideas and tips and all sorts of things. So that brings me to the end of this class. I was so hoping we'd be at the 30-minute mark, but this one, I guess, is a longy one. So I'm going to go over the chat now and see what I have here. Let's see. Okie dokes. Okay, so Mika has shared her Endoflex testimonial. She said she's been using it over 2 years and it shortened her monthly cycle. She has a lighter flow, uplifting mood, takes the edge off, and no premenstrual pain, no headaches. Can I actually say I can attest to exactly the same thing, Mika, exactly. I used to have all those things that you said, like now I have a shortened monthly cycle. I definitely don't get as moody. In fact, the tracker has been really helpful for me because sometimes I just forget. I don't notice so much when I'm going to get my period as I used to. So Sunette shared that Dragon Time is her miracle oil. First time that she used it, she relieved lower back pain. It was extremely helpful to keep her emotions even, and it was an energy boost. That I agree with as well. That I noticed instantly. She uses 40 drops in a 30 ml roller, and she only needs to replace her Dragon Time once every 6 months. Awesome. So that's like the same as what I was saying. So Clarice says it helped her progesterone level and they felt pregnant. Yay, Clarice. So she uses it daily. Hadassah asks, which oils for menopause? Really, the Progestins Plus. Cannot stress this one enough. It is incredible. But the thing is, so is Endoflex, because that's going to be your thyroid function. I would use both. Then we have another question. Can Endoflex and Progestins Plus be used while on birth control? I believe that it is fine. Remember that your body will take and use what it needs and it just gets rid of what it doesn't. So Nadia, you shouldn't have a problem, but I would be curious to know what birth control you're on, because not because I want to preach and say, please get off any sort of pill that you're taking. I do encourage that if that is something you would consider, of course, without judgment, there are lots of things I can suggest to you, because that's what I did. And I am still being very careful and very good so far about birth control, and I don't take anything synthetic. So there's lots of other things that you can do as well. But in terms of taking it while on birth control, yes, there's no contraindication there. So Sunette says, definitely Progestins Plus for menopause, and Clary Sage for emotions and hot flashes. So there you go, hot flashes. What would you suggest for someone who had thyroid cancer and their thyroid was removed? So that one's a tricky one, and it has come up before. But what we have found is that it is still extremely supportive to use the Endoflex, because remember that you still have your hypothalamus working, you still have things. So, you know, Sunette is also answering here, definitely Endoflex and Ningxia. She also thinks Progestins Plus will be beneficial too for thyroid cancer. So thanks, Sunette. You basically just jumped in and answered my question as well. So yeah, I see no problem with using all three as well, even if some people also ask like, oh, but I've had a hysterectomy. I never really know when my periods are. I don't get periods anymore. But we still say then you should be following almost a moon cycle, because most women are actually having a menstrual bleed during a new moon or a full moon. So yeah, that's something that's also really interesting. Something else I wanted to throw out there that's not related to essential oils, but what I've just learned very, like what's new for me is the different phases of a menstrual cycle. And I feel like we were not taught nearly enough of this during our school days. And it's so important to understand that. And when you can integrate the oils and weave it in to understand what's happening in a month, and to actually see your menstrual cycle as a message, it's actually a gift. Like every month you get a gift, it's an indication to you of where your body is at. So if you are having major pain, if you are feeling that you're bedridden, if you have a major migraine, your body is telling you something is off. So this is a time to actually really look at that and try and do some things for yourself. Something I wanted to suggest to you guys is, if you want to look up, I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but there's also something called seed cycling, and you can actually eat certain seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, and you eat them at certain times of your menstrual phase. And now Mika is testing me and saying, are they called follicular ovulation luteal? Yes, you are exactly right. Well done, Mix. Her and I were chatting about this recently, and I was sharing with her how much I had learned, and I went into great detail because there was so much to do with the moon and how that influences us, so much to do with business-wise, when is a good time to make business decisions during our actual, like not our menstrual cycle, during our monthly cycle, that there's actually a time where you should be making business decisions because our head is thinking clearly, like more clearly. Then it's also certain foods that we should be eating during these times to help and support us, and hormone support. So you are correct, Mika. There is the follicular stage, there's ovulation, luteal, and then menstruation. So even for people who have had a hysterectomy, aren't even bleeding anymore, maybe they are on birth control. And just to clear up, I did get a message from Nadia who said she's not on birth control. It's questions other people have asked her. So that makes me happy because I know you and I love you, and not to judge at all, but yeah, I feel like there are other ways, and I do worry a bit about synthetic birth controls. So anyway, what I wanted to say about that is there are also certain exercises that we should be doing. So the follicular stage is actually where we have a lot of energy. That is right after having a period, having a bleed. When you go into the follicular stage, which lasts 7 to 14 days or 7 to 10 days-ish, that is when we have the most energy. You can do intense workouts. You should be making good business decisions. Those sorts of things are going on. And then during the next phase, which is going to be your ovulation phase, that's actually when you feel your sexiest. That is because it is by nature, we are supposed to procreate. So that's going to be a time where you can be using your lang lang, and you can use orange essential oil, by the way, between your thighs is a real libido turn on as well, by the way, for women. So try that out. It's a nice cheap oil, and not cheap in what it is, but cheap in price. And it's a really incredible one. So I'd love for you guys to just try that for fun and let me know, report back. And then you have, just finishing up with the phases, then you have your luteal phase. That's actually your winding down time. So that's when you want to be focusing on not making such intense business decisions. You want to taper off some of the commitments that you might have made. You want to be doing more gentle exercises like walking and yoga. And then you want to be preparing and having comfort food, but nourishing food, not comfort food like all fried foods, but nourishing foods to prepare your body for going into the menstrual cycle, if you don't actively fall pregnant, of course. So anyhow, and during that phase, that is really when you should be taking care of yourself, really sleeping a lot, not making any important decisions, and toning everything down and giving yourself 2 to 3 days of chilling out. So, okay, let's see some questions. Yeah, I think I missed one or two. What oil can we men use to soothe our senses when our wives are super moody, especially at that time of month? Also, what oil is useful for dry skin? So, Keith, thank you for asking. And honestly, thank you for being on here tonight. I think it is so important that you have supportive partners who also understand women and also realize they too have hormones. I don't know why some men don't realize I also have hormones, and as I age, certain hormones are changing and shifting. So I cannot stress enough how brilliant Mr. is. And I wish I would have included this in the call, and I'm so sorry, but it is a brand new oil in South Africa, and it is so incredible for supporting and helping men's hormones. It does work for both of us, for women and men, but it is really particular to supporting testosterone. So that is the oil that I recommend for you. And you can even use it as a beard oil. So you ask me what oil is useful for dry skin. There is a double use. I don't know if you have a beard, but even if you don't, even if you put some on and you actually put some on your face and just smell some of it, but that would be brilliant. Can it be taken internally? L'Oreal, great question. I'm not 100% sure. I need to actually double check. I think you can though, but I want to confirm that for you. So I'd have to look that up. And you can even you can Google search that, is Young Living Mr. safe to ingest? So I'll have to look that one up for you. It's so new and I haven't personally done it, but we usually have lists. And then, by the way, for those of you that might be new as well, we also have a grass list, which is generally regarded as safe. So some of the essential oils will go onto that list. But otherwise, if it is in a vitality version, we know that it's safe for internal use as well. Okay, so Hanli, when you said, is there any way to know in which stage of your cycle you are if you had a hysterectomy? So Sunette said it's good to follow the moon phase. That's exactly what I was going to suggest. So the full moon is your day one. I couldn't agree more. And what you will find as for women as a whole, we either are getting our periods and menstruating during a new moon or a full moon. So almost always it goes in those cycles, and it will sometimes swap and change as life happens. But it's really interesting, and that's why you often hear of, that's so weird when a whole group of women all got together, their periods synced. Yes, that's what happens because we are actually essentially all kind of following from each other as well as the moon. We're all being influenced and impacted by that. But for anybody who's had a hysterectomy or is on some sort of birth control that's preventing an actual bleed, you would follow the moon. And then I absolutely agree with Sunette that you would assume full moon to be day one. So Sunette's confirmed that, yay, Mr. is safe for internal use. Thank you for that, Sunette. That's why I love working with the team. Okay, does anyone else have any other questions about essential oils and hormone support? Can progestins be ingested? Good question. I haven't ever, so I actually don't know. Yeah, Sunette is saying no. Yeah, Sunette's we say there's personality types, and she is our green, which is the very analytical one. Yeah, so it's a serum, and this also says on it, apply 2 to 4 drops on the skin daily as desired, and then massage it in. So that's on the bottle directions. But yeah, this one, topical use. I've never taken it internally. Now I'm glad to say that I've never taken it internally because it's not ideal. So again, you definitely want to get these Aroma Glide fitments, which Young Living sells, and it's very easy to put that on. You would just pop off your dropper fitment piece, which you would then take, like this one is my Dragon Time. which I don't mind as a roller either. But anyway, you would just take your lid, put it on, don't screw it on, just put it on, and then squeeze and just pop that orifice off. Do you see how I did that? And then what you would do is once you have that open bottle, you would then put in the Aroma Glide fitment, which fits on just like that. And then you can pop it on with your hand or just put the lid on and screw it down. It will force it on for you. But I love to have these on because now it's ready to go. And then just before bed, I just do one swipe, and I'm good to go. So, okay, we have a question. I'm trying to fall pregnant. Is this something that both my husband and I can use? Great question, Lindsay. So there are some supplements too that I would really recommend for you, like CoQ10, and there's a whole lot. And of course, acupuncture is brilliant, but oil world wise, definitely the Progessence Plus for you, and the Endoflex is also helpful, but especially the Progessence Plus. This is the number one. So you want to probably increase and do it twice a day. So once in the morning and once at night. Ningsha for both of you. So also twice a day. So while you're trying to fall pregnant, you want to just increase and do twice a day. Once you are pregnant, it's brilliant. And only if you aren't feeling great and maybe you're nauseous or you have any other things, you can continue twice a day until you feel great. Then you can just peel back to once a day with the Ningsha. Amazing for him to have Ningsha. And then I would recommend the Mister for him. So, and the Mister as well, he can use on his forearms, like we just did. You can put a rollerball fitment on there. It smells really nice, by the way. My husband likes it a lot. And, or you can just have the dropper bottle and then you would just put a drop, you know, on his forearms, or even use it like as a beard oil. So that should really help you guys. Any other questions? I think we're good then. Yes, Mr. is really helpful for balancing testosterone. Yes. So that's why they do say Mr. is also very, very good for prostate health in men, and in women, we do have testosterone. So yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, you wanted my number. I'm sorry, I did promise my phone number. So here you go. And when you reach out to me, please just remind me who you are and who helped you get started so that I can, you know, get you, like, help you guys to just make sure that you're in the right groups and you're getting the right support. You want the prices of the oils, Claire? Yeah, that would have been helpful if it was on the slides, but why don't I just tell you guys super quickly? I do have a price list, which all of you should have as well. It's really simple and a nice one to kind of, I just keep this on my phone, or you can't really see, but it's this PDF. And so it's really nice and easy to just kind of look it up. But just to give you a quick idea, so Dragon Time is a 15 ml bottle, and that's going to be 713 Rand. Endoflex is a 15 ml bottle, and that is 400 Rand. And then you have Progessence Plus. Let me find it because it's going to be in its own little category. Because it's not an essential oil, by the way, it is actually a serum. Watch Sunette somehow find it quicker than me. Come on, Sunette, I challenge you. Or Mika, you're also green. Where are you guys? I will find it. You have your Ningxia Red sachets, which is 1,294 Rand, but that's a 30 pack, which is awesome. And they do also, don't they allow us to get that one on Essential Rewards, which is quite nice too. That bundle, I mean. Why can't I find Progessence Plus? The Aroma Glide fitments are 141 Rand. So worth it, worth every cent because you get 10 of them. Thanks, Sunet's told me it's under body and face care. Let's see. Can't believe that I'm still struggling with this. It's probably because it's like really small and I'm so focused on you guys. Thank you. You were right. There it was. It's 542 Rand for the Progessence Plus. Okay. And thank you, Mika. It's 239 Rand for the Mister, which is a 5 ml bottle. So a bit off the subject, you've heard that Lang Lang also helps for high blood pressure. That's right. So how will it help if you have low blood pressure? So it will balance either one, but especially for high blood pressure, people will use that on their forearms. Low blood pressure, I think that there's a couple of things. Thank you, Sunette. Other things that you can do as well as diet. But yes, rosemary is going to help with low blood pressure. So Lang Lang for high and rosemary for low. So hopefully that will help you. Rosemary is also excellent for memory. Very, very good, which clearly Sunette is using. And she's saying Ningxia too for your low blood pressure. Okay, so any other questions, anyone? I had told so many people that this call is going to be 30 minutes and now I've gone to an hour and I try so hard, but I know that there's a lot of questions, which is great. I love it. I appreciate it. But anything else, anyone else? Otherwise, I will end this one for tonight and then we'll do another call sometime again soon. And I do actually ask you guys for topics that you want to learn about and hear about and how we use the essential oils and why and what they're good for. So, I mean, it is what I love to do. So thank you all so much, so much for joining. And I especially love the newbies on the call. So thank you guys so much for making the effort and jumping on. So yeah, have a wonderful evening then, and happy hormones to everyone, male and female alike. Good, happy endocrine systems. So please try these oils out and see. I have no doubt that it will help you. I cannot believe how very, very different my menstrual cycles are. Really, they are absolutely predictable and very, very symptom free. So pretty amazing. Goldenrod is also an amazing oil, Mika. Goldenrod is really to help men. It is hormone support as well, but it also is like, you know, a 10 hat for that soldier. Do you know what I mean? So it's very good for men who might have any sort of erectile dysfunction or just want some help getting in the mood. So it's like the male version of Lang Lang, I would say, in a way. So hopefully that helps. And that's why it's called Goldenrod. You can think about that title. Do you know what I mean? So lots of love to you all. Have a good night. And on that note, I might go diffuse some Lang Lang, put some orange on my thighs, go find the goldenrod, and you know where I'll be tonight. So sending you all love and take care and have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining, everyone. Bye for now.